Welcome to our December webinar, How to Set and Achieve Your Goals. I'm Sally Kerr, the Vice President of Wellness Programs and Education here at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center. I'm here with Dr. Stephen Hotze to discuss simple ways to help you set and achieve your goals, specifically your health goals. This is the time of year when people are beginning to focus on setting goals, otherwise called New Year's resolutions. Unfortunately, by March, most of those goals are already a thing of the past.
Well, you're right, Sally. Goals are so very important for us to be successful in our lives. And I was really introduced to goal setting formally back in the late 1980s and early 1990s, listening to a gentleman by the name of Zig Ziglar. I don't know if any of y'all ever listened to any of Zig Ziglar's CDs or tapes. He's deceased now. Zig passed on to his time with the Lord about a year and a half ago. He was a wonderful man, and he was tremendous and known for his ability to communicate to the average individual like you or me how to make life more successful, more interesting, more productive. And his whole point was, you got to set goals, he'd say. You got to have goals for your life. And goals are specific targets, specific purposes that you've established that you want to achieve and accomplish over a period of time. And I'd like to talk to you about that. You know, goals have to be smart. They have to be specific. They have to be measurable. They have to be attainable. They have to be relevant, and they have to have a time attached to them to achieve those goals. So they have to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So you want to make your goals as specific as possible. What we use here at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center with our guests primarily, and you can use this in any area of life, but on health goals, we ask our guests to write down the specific things they want to see accomplished in their life while they're on our program, what they want to achieve when they get up and on the program. And then once we get them achieving those goals, once those health goals have been achieved, it may be something like, I want to get my energy level back up. I want to be able to get back to work. I want to be able to enjoy my family more. All these are related to their health. So we want to help people here at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center restore their health. And those are the first goals, have to do with how we can help you restore your health. So we give a plan to our guests and recommend for them, and they can adopt this plan. If they adopt this plan, it will help them restore their health. That's not where we want to end. Once people restore their health, we want them to be able to transform their lives. Because we know that if you have poor health, your life and your activities are going to be not at a high level because you don't feel well. So it affects your work if you're working. It affects your relationship with your spouse. It affects adversely your relationship with the rest of your family or your friends because you just don't feel well. And it also adversely affects your relationship with yourself because you're kind of discouraged. You lose your confidence. And things kind of seem maybe not so rosy and optimistic in the future. You kind of look like you're sliding downhill, which a lot of people are sliding downhill. That's part of the aging process, folks. We don't tend, if we don't do anything to get healthier and healthier as we get older, we tend to deteriorate.
That's right.
Unless we take measures to restore our health. So once you restore your health, then you can begin to transform your life. And that's another discussion, but ultimately we want to help people transform their lives. Get yourself healthy and well. So now let's transform our lives in our work, our family, our relationships with friends, associates, in our various organizations we work at church, and then our relationship with ourselves. We feel better about ourselves when we transform our lives. And once your life is transformed, then you begin to make an impact on the community around you positively. So we want to take people from poor health to where they're really having a significant impact in the society in which they live. And you can do that too. Now to do that, it's important for you to have goals. Zig Ziglar said you got to have goals. A goal is a target, a specific purpose that you aim at and intend to accomplish. Now, I like to say it like this. If I took you out with a bow and arrow and put a blindfold on you, spun you around in a circle, and said, okay, hit a target, you couldn't see where you're going, wherever you shot, you're going to be lucky to hit a target if you end up on going the right direction, because you can't aim. You've got to have a target to aim at. And that's why people go to the target range. They want to see if they can shoot well. They just don't go shooting blindly out in the woods. They go to the shooting range to be able to rifle their scope in, so they can get it set and know that the bullet goes exactly where at 100 yards they can hit a tiny target. That's what they're aiming for, and they can know whether they hit it or not by looking through the binoculars and see where the bullet hits on a big target. How close to the bullseye did they get? Well, they had a target to shoot for, and that's what you need to have in your life. You need to set a specific goal for what you want to achieve. Now, goals can be set in every different area of life. You can set them in your personal life. You can set them in your spiritual life, in your family life. You can set them in your physical activity life, whether maybe it's a recreation, maybe you're a golfer, maybe you're a weightlifter, maybe you're a bicycler, maybe you're a jogger. You can set some goals for what you want to achieve in those aspects. You can set goals in your health life. You can set goals in your career. You can set goals in education. Any number of different areas of life, you can set some goals for yourself, some specific targets and purposes that you want to achieve. Now, what I recommend doing is taking a day off sometime, or several hours one Saturday morning, and write down everything in the world you would like to accomplish in the rest of your life. What would you like to do? And it may have to do with traveling, it may have to do with recreation or work or education or visiting old friends from high school and college around the country. It could be involved in anything. Write down everything you'd like to accomplish in your life. And then go through that list and begin to categorize those particular activities and decide which ones you really want to focus on. And once you do that, and you isolate specific things you want to achieve or accomplish, then now you have your goal set, and you have to put a time date with that. By when do I want to accomplish that goal? What's the deadline? What's the date? Once you do all this, and ask yourself a question and write these down. I have a goal sheet that we use, a goal map we call it. So we write down our goals, what we want to achieve or accomplish, and then we write down the benefits. So you need to think about everything you want to accomplish. What's the benefit? If I do a self-study and educate myself on sales, what's the benefit of that? If you're in sales, what's your benefit of that? If I study accounting and I work at a business or finance, what's the benefits for me and my business? What if I study how to read a book on improving marital relationships? What would be the benefit of that? Look at your goals and say, what are the benefits of me achieving what I've written down? Could be finances. I'd like to increase my income by X number of dollars in a year or 2 years. What are the benefits of that? If you don't write down your goals, then you're going to be working for somebody else's goals. And only about 2% of the people in the country write down their goals. It's hard to believe. Most people are reacting. Writing down goals makes you proactive. So you want to write down the benefits of your goals. And I learned this because I went up to meet with Zig Ziglar at his office several years back. And in meeting with his son, Tom Ziglar, Zig happened to be out of town at the time, he asked me, he said, after you write down your goals, what's the next thing you do? I said, I write out a plan. He goes, well, that's not what Dad says. You have to write out your benefits. Now, why do you write out the benefits of your goal? Because once you start marching towards that goal, you're going to hit obstacles. You're going to hit all kinds of pushback from different directions. You're going to have roadblocks that are going to prevent you or trying to prevent you from achieving your goals. And it's not going to be easy to overcome these. That's why you have to focus on what the benefits are when I do achieve my goals. That's what keeps you going, thinking of the benefits. What if I make more money? What if I get better educated? What if I get a better relationship with my spouse? What if I have a better relationship with my kids? What if I spend more time practicing my putting? I might lower my golf score. I might have less putts. And I might win some money from my friends on the golf course instead of them taking all my money. Any number of different benefits you can write down for the activities. If you decide you want to travel, you get to see the world. What's the benefits of that? Makes you a more well-rounded individual. Maybe you get involved with church activities. Maybe you lead a Bible study or start going to a Bible study at your church or in a home group, and you get some fellowship that way. What are all the benefits of those things? So write down the benefits, so when you start having obstacles and roadblocks come up, you go back and say, I may have these roadblocks and obstacles, but I know if I persevere, if I'm determined, if I work with full resolution of character and spirit, I'm going to be able to achieve these goals. Here are the benefits of that, and that'll keep you going, and that's so very important. Now, you can try to achieve your goals on your own, and it can be done. You can be a lone ranger. But it's always beneficial for you to collaborate with other individuals, friends, mentors, people with whom you can work that can help you accomplish and achieve your goals. Many hands makes work light. Bible says two are better than one. They get a better return for their labor. So it's always better to collaborate with somebody when you're working towards a goal rather than it is simply to work on it on your own. Napoleon Hill calls it building a mastermind alliance. That's where two or more people work together towards a goal in harmony. And so it's always nice to have one or more individuals who'll be willing to work with you to help achieve a goal, and then everybody gets the benefit. It's called teamwork. And you take people with certain unique abilities and they add them to your unique abilities, and you'll be surprised how far you can go working with other people. I like to say it's like these cruise rowboats that you see on the lakes, and they have the races where they have, 5 or 10 people in a boat, and they're all rowing, and they're all rowing in unison. And I think they call those crew boats. And all those people, and they move so smoothly, and it seems so easy, but they're all working together in unison. Everything is perfectly timed, and they just move very. Now imagine if they weren't in harmony, and people were paddling at different times. The boat would turn around and spin around, or some people paddle and some don't. Or if you were trying to do the whole thing yourself, you wouldn't get near as far as you would if you had other people paddling in unison with you. Well, that's what it is when you have goals. Collaborate with people, and I think it's important to find a mentor. Say, for instance, you want to become a better golfer. Well, it might be good to go out and hire a golf pro, right? That would help you with your swing, or your putting stroke, or your sand trap shot. If you wanted to become a better public speaker, it'd probably be worthwhile to go out and get a coach, a mentor. You might have to pay him. That's fine. You're investing in yourself. Get somebody to help you in your speaking. If you want to become a better writer, get somebody to help you. Get a coach. Any area of life that, if you're a business person, I do this in our businesses. I'm not the smartest business person in the world. We've got an enterprise with 100 or so people working in our various enterprises. I'm not the smartest businessman in the world. I've got coaches, people that are a lot smarter than me, that I can mentor with, who have gone much higher level than I am. I can learn how they got to that level. I collaborate with them. I get them to share with me the pearls that they've learned, the tricks of the trade that they've learned in their businesses, so that I can apply them to our various enterprises. So my point of this is always look to work together with someone else to help you achieve your goal. That might be with your spouse. You may have a goal and you and your spouse can work together with, which would be great. You can work together with your kids on something, or your friends. Or maybe you work with, maybe you have somebody in a Bible study you're with, and somebody can help you along growing your spiritual life. Always be looking for mentorship and comradeship of people that will collaborate with you to help you achieve your goals. Now, the other thing you're going to need is you got to have certain knowledge to achieve your goals. So say you wanted to become an outstanding, let's say you wanted to become an outstanding salesperson. You want to go into sales. You think you have the personality for it. What might you do? Well, you might buy books on salesmanship. And there are tons of good books on salesmanship. Say you want to improve your leadership. Buy books on leadership. Gain knowledge. You can go to Nightingale Conant and you can get CD tapes from Nightingale Conant. That's Nightingale like the bird, Conant, C-O-N-A-N-T, and that's online. They've got great educational material for any aspect of your life that you want to develop that you can listen to. We call it mobile university. You're mobile. You're in the car, you pop the CD in and you learn. That's another way to do it. You want to gain knowledge. So at our center here, at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center, everybody on our staff reads a book a month. They're assigned books. Everybody on the entire team reads the same exact book every month. We've been doing this since the beginning of 2002. Every month a book is read, and we read 8 books a year on personal development. Could be on success. Could be a story of an individual and their success. It can be on leadership. It can be on sales. It can be on goal setting. It can be on any number of different topics that help personal development. Then we read 4 books a month on natural approaches to health. Everybody writes a book report. The book reports are then turned into the president of our company, who then reads every book report, puts the book report in a binder, and then mails the binder with a cover letter to the author of the book. Now, how many authors do you think ever receive a binder full of book reports? Few and none. If they get one, they got it from the staff at the Hotze Enterprises, because that's what we do. And doing that helps educate our team and helps us continue to grow and make sure that we're all thinking along the same lines, learning principles and concepts from other people in other industries that we can apply to what we do here at Hotze Enterprises, the 3 businesses, Hotze Health and Wellness Center, Hotze Pharmacy, and Hotze Vitamin Store, formerly called Physician's Preference. We can take those principles and we can apply those principles to what we do here to make ourselves, to help function better for you and for our guests, and to be able to create more value for the guests that come to us to help them get on a path of health and wellness, get their lives transformed so they can renew their worlds. So once you've done all that, you still got to do the last but most important thing, and that is to create a plan of action. So you literally sit down on every goal you set and you write down your plan of action, what you need to do, and go through it. That may include who you need to meet, what books you need to write, and when you need to do it, and you just write down a list in order of all the things that need to get done for you to be able to achieve your goals. Once you've done that, you're set. Now you've got your goals set and you've got your benefits. You looked at the obstacles. You've looked at who you need to collaborate with, whom you need to collaborate. You've looked at what knowledge you need to gain to achieve your goal, and then you've written out a plan of action. That is called a goal map. Now, for people that come to our Center for Health and Wellness, we have them write out their health goals.
Mm-hmm. They write out 5.
5 health goals, and that's important. And let me tell you, I think it's very important, Sally, for everybody to write out their goals. You can type them if you want to. I would type them after you write them. I'd write down your goals first by hand. And they've done studies, and there's something very integral with writing something by hand and having it stick in your brain, even more powerful than typing it. Now, once you write it, you can type it in, and I'd say you could probably type in the rest of the stuff, but I think it's important to write the goal down and the benefits of the goal and put a date on it. I think that's really important to do that by hand. It'll stick better. It's just shown to do that. If you don't write down a goal or type out a goal at all, guess what? It's not a goal. I ask people all the time, do you have any goals? Oh yeah, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I hope to do this and I'm going to do this. I ask them, have you written it down?
Right, it would be like taking a trip and you don't really know where you're going.
Right.
How you're going to get there. You're just going to drive.
Right. Well, if you don't write down your goal, you don't know where you're going. You're right. So, and you don't know how you're going to get there. And when you arrive, You won't know where you are when you can't achieve something without having a definite location on a trip to where you're going to go, and you plot that out. And think about a trip when you have a vacation. That's a mini goal. Okay.
Right. And people put a lot of effort into planning that vacation, but not nearly that much effort in planning their whole life.
Well, that reminds me. A lot of people spend a lot of time planning the wedding, and little time
not
planning the marriage.
Yep. Oh,
They
that's
got
so
a big
true.
wedding, and then the wedding's over, and now they
Yeah.
got a marriage. They got no plans for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important for you to set those goals out. Like when you're going on a trip, you wouldn't just start off driving and go like, we're going to end up wherever we end up. We don't know where we're going.
Right.
Who would go on a trip like that? You're just going to drive around.
Right.
So
crazy.
It's simple. It's like a trip. We're going to go here. Here's the date we're going to go. Here's the date we're going to return. You could write down what the benefits were. We're going to get to see mom and dad, or my brothers and sisters, or we're going to have a nice trip to New York and go to the play, or we're going to go to St. Louis or Denver, go up to the mountain skiing. Once you've written all that down, and then we need to contact. We need to make sure we have our skis ready when we get. Where are we going to go? So you tend to do all that. So that's a mini goal. Well, why don't you apply that to your life,
Right.
to your health, for instance? So in your health, you want to write down your health goals. We have people write down 5 health goals. When they write those down, it sticks. How many doctors do you go to and say, would you please write down your health goals?
Right.
No.
And the doctor reviews it with them, and they both sign off on it. Mm-hmm. So
They both sign that. So guess what? People that write down their goals are much more likely to achieve success in their life than people that don't write down a goal. If you don't write down a goal, it's just a wish.
Right. It's just a wish.
It's a wish. It's not a goal. It's a wish. And if it's not written down, you have and a date put on it, and a plan of action, it's not a goal.
Right.
It's just a wish. And how many people have gone through their life wishing they had done this, wishing they had done that? Well, they say the pathway to hell is paved by good intentions. I plan on doing this tomorrow. They don't write it down as a goal. Well, if you want to be successful, you absolutely have to write this down as a goal.
When you always carry a little journal with you.
I do. I
don't think I've ever seen you without it.
I carry a day timer. Mm-hmm. Now my day timer has my goals written in the front of them, and then on a day-to-day basis, I can write down tasks that I need to do to help me achieve my goals. So I divide, for instance, in work, I divide my time into 3 areas. 1, productive activity that produces income. And that's meeting with people, sharing with them what our ideals are, going on TV, writing books, having a radio program. That enables me to explain to people what we do at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center, how we can help them get on a path of health and wellness. I know if I can persuade them to come in because they're not feeling well, they want to get on a path of health and wellness, we can create value in their lives by getting them on a program.
Right.
Once they get value in their lives, and we've created value in their lives, interestingly enough, when you create value in somebody's life, they don't mind paying you for it.
Right.
It's just like when you go to a nice restaurant. You go to a nice restaurant, have a nice experience. You don't mind paying for it. It was a nice experience. I enjoyed that. Okay, that's the same way here. If we create the right experience for our guests so that they feel affirmed, listened to, understood, treasured, cared for, and then we offer them a solution to their needs, and we help them, and then we partner with them, and I'm certain that we can help anybody that comes in. Right. Because we have experience with having treated over 30,000 guests at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center over the last 20 plus years. I'm certain we can help them get on path of health and wellness. When you come to a place like that, what it does is it cultivates hope. Right. Which most people don't have. I had a lady today I talked to on the radio, was one of our guests. She had been over a 2.5 year period to 9 different doctors and had been told over and over again she didn't have any problems. Then they said, well, she has fibromyalgia, which is just it's a term, it's a symptom, it's spoken in Latin, which means you have joint and muscle pain, which she knew she didn't feel well, and they put her on all these drugs and antidepressants and all these things, and she never got well. And she knew her problem was low thyroid.
Right.
And guess what? So finally she came here, and Dr. Ellsworth listened to her, and after seeing 9 doctors, he said, that's not your problem. This was 9 years ago. And she had to quit work at 37 years of age. She quit work. She was a paralegal, making a good living, and couldn't work. She was so tired and fatigued, and she had gastrointestinal problems, and she had constipation. She couldn't sleep. She had joint and muscle aches and pains. She had gained weight, and her hair was falling out, and she went, I think I've got hypothyroidism. Told all these doctors that they wouldn't listen to her.
Wow.
She finally came in here. We got her on a program, and in a year, she's a different person. It's 9 years later. And she said, I literally thought I was dying.
At 37.
I thought, I didn't think I would make it to far. So what do you think you would have been like that? I didn't think, I felt, when I laid in bed at home, her father brought her home from New Mexico. I'm sorry, from Arizona. And this would have been back in 2005, because she couldn't literally get out of bed. She had to come back. She stayed at home with her parents for a year and a half. Now, this is a college graduate, a woman that had an economics degree and had a great life, was working as a paralegal out in Arizona, whose life just crashed. And doctors said she's just depressed. Well, she wasn't. She was hypothyroid. So she came in, got up on the program, and here she is 9 years later, just living a full and abundant life. Well, we had her write down goals, and she didn't, her goal was to get healthy and well. I don't know if she wrote goals down before she came to us, but she had the determination to find out what the solution was to her underlying problem, what the underlying problem was. And she came here. So that's just an example of how we work with individuals here at the center and partner with them to help them get on a path of health and wellness so they can restore their health. Then they can transform their lives. Then they can begin to help other people transform their lives. And so they begin changing the world around them. You renew the world. You start getting healthy and well, guess what? Your husband might want to start getting healthy and well, or your wife. And then your kids. And if they're a whole lot healthier, guess what? They're going to do a lot better in life. And then they're going to get married and have kids, and their kids are going to be healthy. And you're going to have a whole big healthy family. You're not going to know what to do with yourself because everybody's going to be optimistic, enthusiastic, and leading exceptional lives. Or you can stay and you're grinding, sick and tired, and don't write down goals and go like, well, the doctor just told me, I got to learn to live with it.
Right.
He makes me think like it's all in my head. I'm a hypochondriac. All he gives me is antidepressants. That's all I take. There's nothing you can do. It's your choice. That's why I recommend to you, if you want to get yourself, if you want to change your life, you got to write down goals. If you want to change your health, you got to write down health goals.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's what we encourage you doing here at the Hotze Health and Wellness Center.
Right. And there's different ways to do it. Like there's some people now use vision boards where they actually put up like pictures of things so that they see it. Like if they're wanting to lose weight, they could cut out inspirational phrases, different foods that they want to try to incorporate, more fruits, more veggies. And those are great visual tools, but
There's another one too. If you want to get back to an ideal body weight, get a picture of yourself when you were thin and trim.
Right.
Paste it up there and look at that every day and say, I'm skinny. I'm thin and trim. That's me right there, and look at that. Visualize it. There's a lot to there's a lot to visualization as you begin to see yourself.
Like on the golf course.
Listen, you visualize shots on a golf course.
Yeah.
I can see a shot that I have to slice around a tree or hook around a tree, or I have to hit over a trap. I literally visualize the ball doing that. Or when I'm putting, visualize that ball falling into the hole.
Right.
I think about that. I visualize it. Does it fall in the hole every time? No, but I guarantee it falls in a whole lot more than when I don't visualize it.
And you can visualize when you go out to a restaurant. What choices are you going to make?
Right.
So if you've already thought about that before, look how much further ahead you are.
That's right. Before you go out to eat, start thinking, I am going to be eating broccoli.
Well, look at the salad that you like to get.
I
mean, and it is just chock full of so many good things. I'm like, God, I want that too. It looks delicious, and you made that decision before you even went to the restaurant.
In fact, they even call it at the restaurant we go, they call it Hotze salad.
Hotze salad.
It's not
yummy.
on the menu, but they go, you want the Hotze salad? And And they'll ask everybody at the table, you want the Hotze salad? They know what it is.
Yeah, it's delicious. So those are little ways too, but to start really visualizing it. If you've ever seen the movie The Bucket List, that's a big goal-setting program right there. I like to think of it as a lifetime list. What things would you like to accomplish
during your life?
in your life? And write it down. Think of it like a guideline for self-improvement, and that's really what we help our guests do here. We're helping to improve their lives. We're not just taking care of those symptoms, because we love to hear the success stories.
Right.
When they come in and tell you how you transformed their life, and really what a difference that makes to their spouse.
And we really don't transform lives. We don't. The guests that come in have taken charge of their own health. We're like coaches, okay?
Right.
We're not on the playing. They're on the playing field every day. All we can do is make recommendations. We hope they spend enough money to come in here and make an investment in their health. We hope they're going to follow the recommendations. Those that do and stick to it, they get the credit because they're the ones that took hold of their lives.
You're right. They're the ones
who took charge.
They made those choices.
Right.
They made those good, healthy choices
so they get
every day.
Look, they've got coaches in the Olympics, right? Mm-hmm. Who do they put the gold medal on? The coach, or they put it on the athlete that won the gold medal? Right. That coach taught that athlete what to do, how to run, how to do gymnastics, how to lift weights, how to swim. He had a coach, or she had a coach. But guess what? When they win that medal, the coach is not there on the stand. Right. The coach doesn't get the gold medal. The athlete does. And so we like to think of our guests in a way like athletes, like we're the health coaches and you're the health athletes, and we want you to get in the Health Olympics and win a gold medal. That's our goal. And we're going to partner with you. We're going to work with you. We're going to encourage you. But that's what we want to do for you. But ultimately, the credit goes to the people that get on the program, stay on the program, and take charge of their lives.
Absolutely. We're giving them the tools, but they've got to take those tools and put them to work. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And one thing we offer that's different here than you would get at any other medical clinic. We're not a medical clinic. Let me just say that. This is not a medical clinic or a medical center. It's a health and wellness center. And frankly, it's like a hospitality center. That's what we have created here, a hospitality center. What does that mean, doctor? That means we benchmark with the Ritz-Carlton. Right. Why would you benchmark with the Ritz-Carlton if you're a health and wellness center? Because let me ask you this. If you had a choice to be treated like people are treated at the Ritz-Carlton or be treated like most people are treated at your doctor's office, how would you like to be treated?
Ritz-Carlton.
Well, the Ritz-Carlton, where we're ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. And do you know that we say that every day in our huddle? Every day in our entire center, all our various departments meet and huddle together every morning. And we say statements, and one of the statements is this: we are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. Now, how do you think that changes the perspective of the way we view ourselves and the way we view our guests? It's a big difference. And so we provide an atmosphere, a context of hospitality, where you're known as an individual, as a person. We know you here. And we create the environment that would be warm, friendly, relaxed, and refined environment. That's what we create here, so that you feel comfortable, taken care of, and
welcomed. We welcome them.
We welcome. Give you a warm welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Right.
We want you here and want you to stay as long as you want to stay here. And we have guests that just come and like to sit in the reception area. Mm-hmm. If you can imagine, they do. And then people tell us, I just feel so good when I come to your office. You know why? Because we have positive energy here. There's a positive spirit here. And it's a Christian spirit, frankly. That's what we have. It's a strong Christian environment. We're not a church, but there's a strong, we know where our values come from. And they're biblically based, and it's about serving others, helping others be successful in their lives. We know if we help our guests be successful in their lives, we'll be successful.
Right.
That's real simple.
Right.
And that's what we do. So it's a different experience, and that's what we want you to have when you come here, is have an experience that's completely different than you've had anywhere else. That's what we try to create and do our best to do that.
Right. Absolutely. And so whether we're helping them just to get balance into their lives or, really working with the health issue, the hypothyroidism is just huge. We hear, oh my goodness. But overall, it's to help them have a better life.
What we want you to do is to get your life back. Many people come here, and go like, just not feeling well. My life's not what it should be. They feel confused about what they should do because there's all kinds of things they hear on the radio, TV, reading the newspapers and magazines. They don't know what to do about their health. They feel they're not healthy. They've been to several doctors. They tell them they're, make them feel like they're hypochondriacs, give them antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication, sleep medication. They don't feel they feel isolated from their friends, their family, their spouses, and they're powerless. They don't know what to do. You're not a doctor. What do you do? How do you know what to do? If the doctors can't make me well, how am I going to get well on my own? Well, you can, and you can learn. There's plenty out there for you to begin to learn more than most doctors know. I've got a book out, by the way, on hypothyroidism, my second book. It's called Hypothyroidism, Health and Happiness. I'd love you to have a copy, and as a way of saying thank you for being on the program today or listening to us today on the webinar, I want you to go to my website, www.thyroidanswer.com, and I'm going to give you a complimentary copy of my book. Can you somebody here give me a copy of the book? I may be sitting over here. I'll give them a copy. Somebody come over here. Yeah. Hypothyroidism, Health and Happiness. I put my radio face right up here on the front of the book. See that? It's my radio face. This book will teach you more about hypothyroidism than your doctor knows at all. Altogether, you'll be better educated about what hypothyroidism is and how it can adversely affect your life and how it affects a vast proportion of the American public. I would say at least 1/4 to 1/3 of all individuals in America suffer from hypothyroidism to one degree or another. And the thyroid hormones, of course, in your neck are secreted into the blood. They have to enter your cells, and in the cells, they enable your cells to produce and use energy. If you don't get enough thyroid in your cells, I don't care how much you have in your blood, and I don't care if your blood tests are normal. Your doctor goes, oh, my doctor said my blood test is normal, so it can't be hypothyroidism. Wrong. That's not at all the case. You can have normal thyroid levels in your blood, not enough in your cells. The diagnosis should be based upon your clinical symptoms and your physical findings and your body temperature, which will be low. It should be 98.6. It'll run in the 97s if you have hypothyroidism. Just check your temperature and see what it runs, your body temperature.
All right, that's an easy way.
Very simple way. Much more accurate than a blood test. Right. Anyway, I want to give you this book, thyroidanswer.com. Go and I'll give you a complimentary copy, a hardback book. You'll pay for shipping and handling $8.95, but I'll give you the book for free. Or Why do I do that? Because my goal is to distribute and sell 250,000 copies because I want to change and help people get their lives back and educate them. And this book will do it. It will spread the word, and that's what I'm in the business of doing, is leading a wellness revolution that will change the way men and women are treated in midlife through the use of natural occurring bioidentical hormones and other natural approaches to health. That's what we're in the business of doing here, and we want to help you join that revolution, that wellness revolution, so you can get yourself on a path of health and wellness and enjoy a better quality of life.
Right. And when you wrote that book, you didn't just think, I think I'll write a book. You wrote it down, didn't you? You wrote a goal down.
We wrote the goal down about this book. We wrote the goal down and the date when we wanted to achieve it and who we're going to have to work with, what the obstacles were going to be, what knowledge we had to have to write the book, who we had to collaborate with, and we wrote down a plan. And we wrote down first, after the goal, we wrote down the benefits. What are the benefits of doing this? Well, one of the benefits is that we're going to be able to educate hundreds of thousands of people about a common problem that commonly goes undiagnosed or misdiagnosed and unrecognized by the vast majority of health providers in the country. And that's a shame. So I want to get this into the hands of you so that you won't be buffaloed into thinking your problems are all in your head.
Right.
Not in your head. They're in your hormones.
They're in your
the
hormones.
lack of them.
And so there's a number that they can call, and that number is 877-698-8698. It's also on the right side of the screen, I believe. But if they want to just call and talk to one of our
New guest
coordinators to see if we could help them. Absolutely, they can do that, and that's a complimentary basic consultation.
Right. So that's 877-698-8698. If you'd like to visit with a new guest consultant about getting yourself on a path of health and wellness, we would count it an honor and privilege to have the opportunity to partner with you to place you on that path of health and wellness.
Right. We'd love to hear from you. And as you're out busy shopping and preparing for this wonderful Christmas season, start with one thing that you buy for yourself, and that's a journal, just like Dr. Hotze has. Start with a journal. Write down some goals. Merry Christmas.
And want to remind you, restore your health, transform your life, and renew your world naturally. Thanks so much for joining us today, and have a joyous Christmas season.